It's my favourite time of the day. Yes, it's Talking Pints. I'm joined by auctioneer, TV, antiques expert Tom Keane. Tom, welcome to
Nice to meet you.
Talking Pints. Very good to meet you. Now, I've got a slight problem with you as a guest.
Yeah, what's that?
It's jealousy, really, because when I was 17, I did the careers course at school. Where they recommended what you should do. And number one on the list for me was auctioneer, and I never became one, and you have.
It's never too late. Come down. You can jump on the rostrum.
Well, you never know.
Like.
You never know.
I mean it.
Now, you started off, in the scrap metal business, bit of a wheeler dealer. Mm-hmm. And what was this big event in your life that put you more into the world of antiques?
I was scrap metal dealing and boxing and car selling, and things were a bit tough, so I got a job. Do you know Olympia in London?
Yeah.
Have you been in there?
I've spoken there, yeah.
You spoke there? That big steel roof. Mm-hmm. I used to climb that on the inside. A bit of a daunting job, but back in '89, I was putting a trapeze wire up and got pulled out of the roof 30 feet. Thank God I was on a ladder, and came down and crushed both my heels, and that put me in a wheelchair and sticks for 2 years. And while I was doing that, I went to an auction for the first time. You will like this because it was a poll tax riots going on at the time, and I was complaining about Westminster Council taking Mr. and Mrs. Smith to court for non-paying the poll tax, and the bailiffs have been around and taking their things and put them in the auction. And while I was sitting in a wheelchair, first auction I ever went to, I bought a microwave oven and a video recorder, because I understood what it was. And
bidding at auction.
Got them for next to nothing, complaining about the poll tax and why this happened, but at the same time couldn't refuse a bargain. And went out there and I made a profit straight away. So that took me into the auction world, and I started studying antiques.
Yep.
Taking it on board, just studying every day, fell in love with it, and 30 odd years later, it's been all right.
And have you, as you've moved into that world, antiques you mentioned, have you specialised in areas, or are you a generalist?
I'm a generalist, but specialised more in furniture, but more of a generalist. You have to be in small companies.
Yeah, and I mean, so how is it? Okay, you have this, a horrible accident. I've had a couple of horrible accidents.
I know.
Yeah, it does make you rethink things a little bit.
It can change your life, can't it?
Yeah, plane crashes and goodness knows what I've been. I mean, but hey, we're here, so both of us are still here. But how do you go from buying a cheap microwave at auction, to finishing up, on bargain hunt, on cash in the attic, and you've done all these programmes. Mm-hmm. How do you finish up becoming a bit of a TV celeb?
Just been in the right place at the right time. I think when these TV programmes first came out back in 2002, Cash in the Attic, they had researchers looking around, didn't know anything about antiques, and I suppose a bit of a character, shaven head, a bit of a barrow boy look, if you like, and rather than being plumb in the mouth and not unapproachable, they came and saw me, and I guided them through what was saleable, what wasn't, and it took off from there.
Is it good fun doing those programmes?
It's fantastic fun. Can be a bit draining, can be hard work, but we wouldn't change it. It's been great.
But you can't match David Dickinson's suntan, can you?
That's not suntan. He's a lovely fella. He's a lovely fella, but that's his natural colour.
Is it?
Yeah,
I believe you. I believe you. So what do we do? You've gone on. You've worked through auction houses. You've now got your own gig, operating. So
I've always owned my own auction rooms. I never worked for one.
Right. You've always owned your own auction
Unemployable.
Houses. Yeah, I think I'm a bit like that too. So what happens? If I want to sell something or buy something, I come to you. What are you going to be? If I've got to sell something, what are you good at selling for me?
I can sell anything from a needle to an anchor. It's about your expectations and what are you thinking of selling?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I collect military medals. I'm not in the mind to sell any at the minute, but would you be a good person to come to, or would you say no, come to me with furniture, or why, Tom, would somebody approach you? Why would they come to your auction house?
They come to us because we give a good service across the board. If I'm not expert enough to know about an item, I've got a team of experts I can contact and consultants can come in, so you can bring in anything you like, and within 24 hours I'll have a proper evaluation for you, if I don't know myself already. So, and we charge lesser commissions. We're the lowest commission rates in London. Well, you know that.
I'm going to come to that.
Go on.
Because you see, seems to me that we live in a very heavily regulated world where profits or what can be charged to private customers are generally quite tightly regulated by all sorts of agencies. I am struck that you, Mob, in the world of auctioneering, you've got sellers, buyers, premiums. I mean, your cuts on this stuff are enormous, aren't they?
It depends where you go. And auction rooms will charge exorbitant. I know ours are, I know what the biggest are. The other auction rooms will charge you, the bigger firms will charge you 35% per lot. 25-30% the other way as well. Plus you get your handling fees, £100.
I mean, it's the biggest blooming rip left out there, isn't it?
If you don't know how to negotiate it, it is. People won't negotiate on buyers' premiums. But let me tell you what's changed in the last 12, 15 years from my point of view in a job. I got your medal, it comes in and I catalogue it. A bravery medal, however it is, and put it down, put a number on it, walk away. That's what I used to do. Now I've got to catalogue it. I've got to get someone to photograph it. I've got to be condition reporting it. I've got to upload it online. I've got to deal with inquiries coming. So the costs have gone up 4 or 5 times to process that lot. That's why the cost of buyer premium. See, I know you agree with me already. You're smiling.
You see, they always come out with this stuff, don't they?
It's true, isn't it? The costs have gone up, and are we any better off? No. Profit-wise, we're not. We're still making the same sort of margins, but the costs have increased by 5-6 times.
We're living, Tom, in an age when inflation has come back. You know, we haven't seen it for 30, 40 years. People under the age of 45 have never seen inflation. People are worried about cash being in the bank, devaluing before their eyes. They're a bit scared of the stock markets after all these years of rises. Bonds have been horrendous over the course of the last couple of years. Gold has been disappointing. Cryptocurrency, well, it was pretty good this time last year. It's not quite so clever.
Don't touch that one.
This time this year. Are you seeing a move to what we used to call in economic theory tangible assets? Are people now looking to buy things in a way perhaps they weren't before inflation?
In truth, the market's slowed down, people buying things. They're still buying quality, but what happens in all recessions? Now, you're going to hate this, as auctioneers always make money. When things are tough, people want to sell things. Now, because the exchange rates are quite bad in this country, we're getting foreign investors and foreign buyers coming in.
So for Americans buying stuff here, it's at the moment fantastic.
That's right, and that's what's happening in the auction world. The Chinese, very astute, very clever businessmen, they're coming in and they're getting 15% discount just on the exchange rate. Never mind about anything else. So our markets will be okay, but the markets are very strong, but the domestic market is shaky.
If you had to look at I mean, you know, and I'm not asking you to put your neck on the line here too much, but if you had to look at a sector of, say, the antiques world that you thought right now represented quite good value and that in your view in 5 or 10 years' time would prove to be a good investment in this very uncertain financial world we're in, what sort of areas would you look?
It depends on what end of the market you want to be at. If you want to be investing in the low end, buy watercolour pictures. They're so cheap for good artists. They've fallen through the floor. They won't get any cheaper. There's only one way up. Yeah.
Is that just sort of, because all these things go in fashions and trends, don't they?
All trends change, but the watercolour paintings are very good value at the moment.
Interesting.
That can't last for much longer. I mean, things that were making £1,000, £2,000 are now down to £100, £150.
No.
Oh yeah, an affordable market. Known artists as well, not just squiggles. Known artists are making no money. If you're going to go into the upper end of the market, jewellery, you never lose on jewellery. It's transportable. You can wear it, and providing you're in for the long haul, you'll make money.
But there's one big danger. No, the watercolour thing, fascinating. The one big danger, Tom, with all of this, and particularly in the modern world of owning nice things, wearing nice things, displaying nice things, is the risk of theft. And you've been a victim of this, haven't you?
You've done your research. Yeah, I've been ram-raided a couple of times, and that hurt. We drove a bulldozer through the wall. Didn't get anything. They smashed the place up, and thankfully they caught them and they got prison, and they're still they're doing 17 years, so we won't worry about those for a while.
But if people buy nice things, they've got to put a safe in their house, or I mean, what have they got to do in the modern world?
A safe in the house is good. I mean, it's not so bad in this country. We go and do valuations in Spain, where a lot of Brits come to us, and they've all been robbed, all been mugged, and all getting rid of their precious possessions through auction rooms in England because of the crime rate.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse here.
Yeah, so we've got to protect ourselves. Tom Keane, thank you for joining me on Talking Pints. I love the thought about watercolours being as cheap as that. That sounds to me like a really, really good idea. There could be a GB News market spike coming up. Tom, thank you for joining me on Talking Pints.
I enjoyed it.
Splendid, thank you.